I want to talk a little bit about the game of trust simulation we played because I
Yeah.
thought that was very interesting. So, this simulation uses mathematical modeling and game theory to explain how trust evolves in society. So, a brief explanation is each round the players have to choose whether to cheat or cooperate. The playoffs for cooperating were 2 coins each, or 3 coins to the one who cheated and -1 to the one who cooperated, or 0-0 if both choose to cheat. The simulation found that generally the most successful strategy was the copy kitten, which chooses to cooperate until cheated on twice, as this strategy fosters trust and cooperation but also discourages exploitation. Have you recognized a time in your life when you've adopted this behavior, and do you think this behavior is the key for generating a trustful society?
So trust, if I could define why our country is successful in one word, and I only had one word, I will use trust. Trust embodies the idea that your actions are gonna have outcomes that are predictable. That's it. That's the definition of trust, right? So it means that if I treat you good, I can expect you to treat me well as well. It means that if I go to a government official, that I will get the service that I need to get. It means that if I open a business, I'm gonna make the money from that business, and then nobody's gonna steal that business from me.
Mm,
And trust is fundamental in society. Without trust, you're never gonna open a company. Without trust, you don't even want to vote because whatever government you put into power is gonna steal from you.
mm,
Again, that is fundamentally what happens in middle income countries that get stuck into the middle income trap. The game as well shows that you should allow some measure of errors and mistakes because you can never tell if people made a mistake because they don't know if they make a mistake because out of malice.
mm,
So, in other words, a good society is one in which you allow people to make mistakes as long as they don't make mistakes all the time,
right.
right? And that is something important as well. And again, trust is fundamental in society. That is why Scandinavia is a rich society. This is why, for instance, you have problems in countries like the US. The trust in the political system used to be much higher, and now it's being eroded. Uh, Same with the UK. And you can see that what is happening is that the British economy is not doing very well, that inequality is a problem, that crime is rising in the US. Why? Again, in one word, trust. So understanding how to build trust
Mm,
is fundamental in society. One of the things that this society does very well is that it encourages people to trust each other. This is very hard to do, especially the larger you are.
mm,
And people say, oh, but Denmark is not that large of a society. No, but like trust requires repeated interactions. And in a city like Copenhagen, you might not have repeated interactions with anybody other than your close friends. And still people trust each other. And they trust institutions. They trust that the government is not just there to ransack the society's coffers. This matters very much. And again, it is understanding how trust evolves and how you can, for instance, look at this. The main topic in Denmark today is likely immigration. Why? Because people believe that you cannot trust immigrants or whatever. Of course you can, but again, you need to understand how this trust evolves. It's not like, oh, they come here and immediately they become Danish people and they understand the trusting society that they arrive. It cannot be that way because that way doesn't work. But again, you can teach people, you can allow also people to make mistakes and again, and also eventually not allow people to make repeated mistakes.
mm.
There are many ways to do it in a much more coherent way than what I see happening and what I see being debated in society today.
Yeah. And the happiness index where the Scandinavian countries have ranked the highest, two of the factors are do they view their government as corrupt and also the social support they receive. And I think
Yeah,
here people are very trusting of their government and there's huge social support, which is very uncommon in you wouldn't British people and Americans
they don't
they don't
understand.
trust
Yeah,
the government at
not
all.
anymore. They
They
used to,
don't.
not anymore. The thing about this happiness studies is that that is not the right word. Happiness is individual, it's not social.
Right.
right? Happiness is relative. If everybody, as you say, if everybody trusts the government, nobody's happy. So this study is wrong. It's something
Really?
else.
Okay.
But again, I understand why it's called happiness, because every single society that is not them would like to have that.
Right.
But it doesn't make a society happy.
Right.
It makes a society rich, makes a society developed. People are going to be happy comparing themselves to other people. There is no other way. Unfortunately, for the same reason that it's good that we are social animals, it's also bad that we are social animals. Our happiness is never in absolute terms; it's always in relative terms.
Right.
So that's why I cannot tell that people in Denmark are happier than anywhere else, because they
Right.
only know how to judge themselves according to people that are around them.
Right.
But that this society, that this trust makes this one of the most developed societies in the Western world. Yes,
So
it
how would
does.
you relabel the happiness study? What would you call it? A
Just
measure of what?
development index, whatever you want to call it. It
Development
doesn't.
index.
The label doesn't matter too much to me, right? The
Right.
problem with the label is that the label took over.
Right.
So it's fashionable to say that Scandinavians are happy people. Like, literally talk to them, you're going to say that it's not true. But
Right.
you go to any slum in Rio, people are much happier than people in Denmark, even though they have no money.
Why do you think that is?
That is culture. It's different. You like people here, again, they are not supposed to open up very easily. They use alcohol as lubricants,
Right.
social lubricants
Yeah.
sometimes. There's all these factors.
Yeah.
You are supposed to trust people. Because you are supposed to trust people, you don't need to share much, because you can trust them.
Right.
But if you don't share with somebody in a poor country, how can you trust that person,
Yeah.
right?
I had some interactions with the Danes, and they're very very closed off. Yeah.
Just get them drunk. That is, they know,
The
then they open
key
up.
to connecting with Danes, get them
Yeah,
drunk,
it's
get them
like
drunk.
it's not the difference in Britain though.
I think British people are a bit more open.
That is true.
Bit
That is
bit
true.
more open.
They don't need that. They need alcohol maybe for other reasons. But yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
Maybe you're right. You're right.